Welcome to episode 5 of the Sarcastic News Network. Right now, Donald Trump, United States President, is giving the State of the Union, and we all know the State of the Union is shitty. Not good. It's not good. It's not good. It might be the last State of the Union he gives pre-World War III. I hate to be the guy to say that, and I hope to be wrong as fuck. But these words can be prophetic, possibly. The way he's going. It's really not. It's like I'm looking into a crystal ball. Just with the way he's going. Articles I'm reading, it's very possible. So, I say let's get into it. Very unprepared, the impromptu, as the show always is, and let's start with the most trusted cable news network, CNN, literally. Trump addresses Congress. Okay, so I don't know much about what's going on, but I'm reading tweets. And right now, Democrat Representative Al Green, and he's a resident psycho moron. I mean, he's the kind of guy who just like, if you say anything against what he thinks, if you disagree with him, doesn't matter if you're black, white, you could be blacker than him, and you are a racist. That's what he will call you every fucking time. So, no applause from Democrats as Trump is introduced. Who cares? But yeah, anyway, Al Green, the idiot, like I was saying, held up a sign that says black people aren't apes. Steve Scalise grabbed the sign, but Green is still holding it up. He likes to make a show of himself. Some people like to make the show of themselves, and I mean, already it's a fucking joke. It's it's a joke. When you know, you know. And when you know, you just know that it's kind of like, this is not really our president. Our president's sitting in Tel Aviv, Israel. Just saying, okay? I just wish, just for all of my family members who don't understand things about the world and who hate on Trump or who hate on Obama or who hated on any of the past presidents, probably since the 60s, Israel has been running and controlling our presidents. Just saying. Okay? Not anti-Semitic. Not by any means. Okay? A lot of Jews that are totally against them, too. Look at my page. You'll know that. It's really pathetic, too. At a certain point, you have to just look at everything that's going on. It's like, they're telling you to not believe your eyes. And you gotta draw the line and tell them to go fuck themselves. Like, no, I know I'm informed. So, I'm going to go with another news source. I'm going to kind of hopefully see if there's any news that is anything other than that, because that is the first thing that keeps coming on. Is Trump is giving a speech, and if you saw me reacting to the speech, I'll probably just get angry. I might just end up doing that though. I'm seeing things come on in the background. I might end up doing that. But oh wait, what's something? He's on in the background.
And last year, the murder rate saw its single largest decline in recorded history. This is the biggest decline.
The biggest decline in the murder rate. I'm so happy about that. I've done nothing to arrest the deep state. They tried to put me behind bars for no reason. But the murder rate is lower. Slightly. Only in the city in which I live. And that politicians live. Where the swamp lives. We have encapsulated ourselves with soldiers. Now crime is down.
history of our country.
Yeah, and you keeping it up.
12 months, my administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last
Well, yeah, in 5 years since Biden, he's the worst guy since Biden. He just said
7%.
some 7%. Woo! All I know is I see inflation still at the store. Still see it all the time. Oh man, should I react to a video? I don't know if I should do this.
Gasoline, which reached a peak of over $6 a gallon,
Is now low because we abducted a president, and now we have the most, we have them totally willing to give them all of their oil, and they have the most oil in the whole hemisphere.
The great state of Iowa just a few weeks ago.
The great country of Venezuela, where we're stealing it from, is now lowering Iowa's gasoline prices. Woo! Fucking sheeple.
Mortgage rates are the lowest in 4 years and falling fast. And the annual
While your kids while kids are getting abducted and going into the island of Jeffrey Epstein. And now we know for sure that it was high political people, and they're all redacted, and none of them are going to jail. Not one of them. Not one of them. And they're very rich, and they're able to get away with it every single time. Neither. It's never happened. We never locked them up.
And we are going to keep it that way.
And we're going to keep it that way. We're never going to lock up the people who are in power. If you commit crimes, murder, cannibalize, pedo, doesn't matter. We're going to keep it that way.
401ks and retirement accounts.
Just turn this shit off. I can't, dude. Everything he says, I just want to bring up something from the Epstein files in between it. You know, there's not one thing Trump can say right now. The Dow is up. Here we go. It's the same shit that bitch was saying, Pam Bondi, the other day. It's literally the same thing. It's like, yeah, what's the real story? I admit, though, he had enough courage to actually sign into law. Of course, he didn't want to sign into law, and thank you, Thomas Massey, and certain people who, you know, had to get their careers ruined and attacked horribly, but, you know, honestly, a Democrat would probably not even sign it in the law. They would probably just fucking break the law. They don't give a fuck. So, DNCJ, we should do something with Iran, Venezuela, but not what Trump's doing. Well, I'm sure the Democrat solution wouldn't be much better, okay? They would have a long, drawn-out war. They're more in favor of that, while pretending to be not in favor of war for all those years until the mask kind of came off, you know, and, yeah, during Ukraine, it came out of the peaceful Democrat. Then they suddenly stopped being peaceful, okay? Ask your typical Democrat voter what they think we should do to Russia, and you'll see how they are not the party of fucking peace. And I mean, I'm not pro fucking Russia either, okay? But shit, this is what these fucking people are saying. That's what they are saying. I'm not gonna resign. Representative Tony Gonzalez, he defies GOP calls to step down. Doesn't matter what he did. He's not going to resign. You could probably catch him in a hotel. Bunch of cocaine. Dead prostitute. Doesn't mean... Correlation does not mean that it was him, okay? Just because he was there. Just because it was his hotel room and there was a bunch of crimes and death and drugs, it does not mean he was the one who was a part of any of it, okay? He stepped out, and a storm of people came in with drugs, and someone died in that storm. And then the storm left, some drug remnants were behind, and then a dead person. So sad. Actor Martin Short's daughter, Catherine, dead at 42. Well, that is pretty fucking sad. I don't want to hear about anybody dying that young, you know? That's close to my age. It's terrifying. So, sad to hear. Most likely it was probably not some sort of normal thing. It was either a disease or an addiction or something, which I do believe to an extent is a disease. But you know, we can all have our opinions on that. I totally understand if people who don't think that way. I get it, totally get it. But yeah, Joe Rogan calls birthright citizenship a crazy law. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. Should I give an opinion about? Should I care? Should I invest it? All I know is this: if you're going to be serving our government in a political level, not just president, but a congressman, then probably at that point you should give up any dual loyalties, as they say, or even dual citizenship, because I don't think dual citizenship shouldn't be allowed. I think you can have a home country and then have your new country, but I just don't think it should be for more than 2 generations. After that, it's kind of just all right, you can't keep holding on to your past here for too much longer. You're not actually going to go back, and so that's my belief. I believe, yeah, if you're a first or second generation, then sure, but beyond that, it's overkill. Just my opinion, I guess. But I think most countries agree with me, and most countries, I mean, there's some ones that give you citizenship easier than others, I suppose, but I'm a dual citizen. So, CNN's Jake Tapper is not sure what Dems' message on foreign policy is. Well, they don't really have one. Just funnel money to Ukraine, funnel money for, just get the weapons contractors rich, invest. That's their shit. Tell their homies about it, make a phone call. Hey, more money's going on this. This is the time to put more money into this. Take some money out of that, and then tomorrow put it out of this thing that I first said, and then back into the other thing. Perfect timing. And you know that they fucking do this. We all know they do this shit. Ruffalo to Hochul, tax the rich. Well, these rich people are saying tax us. They're begging to be taxed, but yet they don't get taxed because they're behind the scenes, obviously paying money, the money they could be using with taxes, to lobby these politicians to never make that possible. No, we'll put our money into entrepreneurial activities that will help the world, like Bill Gates. Instead of paying taxes, he gets to go around and experiment and fucking drugs on people all over the world. Whoopity. And everybody should just get on board. Get on board, get on the train right now. Okay, this is normal human behavior. NHB, normal human behavior. Although, Bill Gates is not the kind of person that's ever exhibited any normal human behavior. You know? That type of normal behavior that would have came out if you would have, saw your husband get murdered and you didn't know anything about it. Now, normal human behavior would have kind of kept you in the dark for a long time about that. You might have made one statement publicly, mostly just telling people to back off. But to make an entire show about it, and to tell people not to read into people that are acting weird, literally saying those things within just days and weeks, that's only a normal human reaction to someone who is guilty of something. Guilty of not necessarily being the person who did it, or even knowing about it, but just benefiting from it, possibly. You're guilty of benefiting from it and enjoying that. Maybe things weren't, maybe you thought it wasn't going to last that much longer, and this is now more of a surprise in a good way for you. And you can just pretend, pop your Christian hat on, that you're this great person, and that's all you do is talk about Christianity, but you shut down and treat people who have genuine questions about that murder like they're crazy, and for, because like I say, this normal human behavior, was not exhibited by certain people who were close to him that day. There's the guy on his phone who literally, a shot happens, he just turns around, walks all normal like it's nothing. And then they tell a different story about it, of course, but we see camera footage and they acted different. They act like they just won't address half this shit head on. You guys are implicated in some way. Okay? I'm not saying on the murder, but on like knowing what's happening or just behaving fucking weird. Okay? And that is not normal after a death. Okay? It's normal to... Everyone grieves differently. It's normal to, you know, have certain people maybe get really angry. Certain people get really emotional. Certain people kind of bottle it up for a while before it's finally let out. All those things are normal. And I'm sure everybody's gone through different stages of grief, but at no stage is it normal for you to just walk away and keep talking. None. Not one. Nothing. Nothing tells me that that's normal. That guy who did that, you are just a scumbag, okay? I can't accuse you of something because I don't know what you knew. But your friend got shot, and you claim to know he got shot, even though it just seems like you heard it and walked right the other way. That's what cameras say. But regardless, even if you did know, and if you did know, that suggests to me more so that you probably had foreknowledge, but even if you did know that a bullet just hit your friend. Not now.